Hello, Leo. My name is Echo, and thank you for joining me for your July 2025 tarot reading. As I'm going ahead throwing this, we had a new moon in Cancer yesterday, June 25th. So I hope you set your intentions. If not, it is not too late. Go ahead and set those intentions to see what you would like to come to fruition when we have that next full moon on July 10th. Also, see what area of life that Cancer is in your chart to see where you're going to be impacted most, and use that energy to your advantage. So without further ado, my dear Leo, let's go ahead and throw some cards and see what July has in store for you. You start off with card number 6, the Waxing Crescent, Self-Love. So at this time, a lot of signs are actually going through some stuff and looking to sort of adjust whatever living situation they're doing on their day-to-day. This could be their job, their home life, what have you, where we find our comfort, because that is kind of the Cancerian energy that's coming through this new moon. And self-love is part of that picture. So you may be looking at whatever situations you're doing every day as we step into July and recognizing what's taking from you and what is truly giving to you. A part of self-love is recognizing where our boundaries are, Leo. And I feel like you, being the very passionate energy that you are, you're doing just that in the month of July. You're checking in with what is taking from you energetically. And you're also looking into like your health situations. What are you putting into your body that isn't working for you? Are you getting enough rest? You're looking at things like diet, exercise, things like that. You may tap on those on the back end, but I feel like you're more in an emotional space with that watery kind of vibe, and that's where you are as we go forward in the first few weeks of July. But if you're going to do for other people the way you do, Leo, because you're usually the one who's out there leading the charge with all your, courageous kind of energy, the lion, you have to be sure that you're giving to yourself first. So these needs, such as our passions, what makes us feel valued, what makes us feel valid, where our heart truly lies, these are part of that self-love. And this is what spurs that energy so we can go forward and give to others. So focus in the beginning of July on yourself. I feel like you're getting that call, and do just that. Listen to symbolism in your dreams and see what's guiding you, because this is where our messages come through, and we have a Neptunian energy at play in the beginning of July that can help you in that respect. But let's go forward and continue with the cards and see what we have coming in the month of July. So next you have the card, the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is all about standing in your own truth. The clouds in the tarot talk about confusion, mental fog, the kind of things that hang us up and get us stuck in our headspace. But if you look at this individual card, there are clouds right behind her. And above her, the sky begins to change. Things become different. We're going from stormy to a little bit of clarity here. And it's like she is trying to gain almost that empty space of sky. So you are going to have to get past the storminess of the way you think, the way you communicate, that sort of swords, air energy, and intellectual pursuits. You're going to have to get clear on what it is truly matters to you, where your heart truly lies, what you're willing to take and what you're not, Leo, in order to make any progress in July. And I feel like you're already on this path. You're already feeling that tug as we circle around to the end of June. So follow that calling and go with that, because that is going to help you make progress in the month of July. And sometimes when we stand in our own truth, we are talking about communication and that air energy. Sometimes that does require us to say things and have conversations that other people aren't entirely comfortable with, my dear Leo, but you're just telling it like it is. This doesn't mean that you're going to come off as rude with anybody. I really don't get that here. I feel like you are going to tell somebody if they cross a boundary or overstep a line, or expect too much from you, because a lot of people are telling me at this time, and I am seeing it in the cards, all across the signs, that they're being asked to do too much at one time. There's so many demands. And then on top of that, when we do have our downtime, there's a lot of stress from what's coming forward in the media that you can't escape every day. So you do need to stand your ground, speak your truth, and let people know if they're overstepping boundaries and what you're really all about. But let's go ahead and throw this Celtic cross and see what the tarot has to say about July for my dear Leo. Had a flipper, so I'm going to take it. Here you have the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is all about wanting to move over into a calmer, smoother way of being, finding peaceful waters. If you look at the boat here at the bottom, he's got an I don't know if you can see that detail, it's very small. He has these dragonflies lining the boat as the design. Dragonflies are a symbol of rebirth, so changing the way things are done, breaking things down so you can come back in a new way. In some cultures, to see a dragonfly is the belief that a loved one or ancestor is with you. So like I said, when it comes to reaching out, asking for symbols and guidance in dreams, go ahead and do that because that may help you with whatever passion you are working toward. But you are looking to move into a more peaceful way of thinking and communicating. So I feel like you're not really interested in doing the combative energy, even if there is somebody in your space who is. You just want things to be smooth and steady and even keel. And that is really where your hope lies. That is where your heart is as you go forward in July. And it may be because you've been going through a tumultuous time. This may be what put you in the self-love energy because you've been feeling the impact of others and what they're taking from you. But let's go ahead and see what energy is crossing you at this time. And a crossing card in the Celtic Cross, once again, which is the name of the spread that I'm using today. The crossing is the energy that is currently at play, what is impacting us in a positive or negative way, just whatever it is we're sort of dealing with day in, day out. Crossing you is the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot in reverse is kind of like putting the brakes on and holding off where you would otherwise find yourself wanting to charge forward. So I feel like you are taking a pause to readdress the balance in your day-to-day life. And this could be in your workspace, your home life, or just like an emotional level, whatever's impacting you, Leo. Like I said, there is a Neptunian energy very present in the beginning of July, and you might be feeling that, and you're just needing to kind of, whoa, hold your horses. This is not okay, and this is really what I want. You're going to tap the brakes, and you may have a more direct approach, but I feel like you're going to, even your smallest voice is going to have a ripple effect. And it is going to speak to the people around you in a way that says, hey, here I am. This is what I'm all about. Okay, so I feel like that is going to be for someone very specific in the month of July, my dear Leos. So as we continue with this Celtic Cross, we're going ahead and see what your base energy is. The base is where we are when we're sitting at our lowest, when we're down in the doldrums, or we're sitting in the dark by ourselves, those thoughts that kind of tug at our heartstrings. So I just want to see these internal workings on this base card for your Celtic Cross for my Leos. Here you have the Karma card in reverse. I feel like you may be getting a little bit of nastiness going on, and we were talking about this earlier, things that put you in your heart space where you need to act on self-love. I feel like you're looking, and there might be those moments where you're kind of punishing yourself. What did I do wrong? Is this my fault at all? Maybe you're thinking, I didn't deserve this. And you're considering everything that's at play and all the moving pieces. But I really don't feel like this is something you did, Leo, unless, of course, you did something to generate negative karma. If you did, then just, write it out, move with an apologetic and a truly changed heart and go forward, right? Because this is what we do with life lessons. But I don't get that vibe for you specifically. I really feel like, because no one's perfect, right? I really feel like this is more just you having a little bit of negative talk and a little bit of self-doubt about situations going on around you right now. And it isn't necessarily that you've done anything wrong. It's more or less you're going through a valley, because life is all about hills and valleys. Sometimes we're on top and sometimes we're down here. But if you are giving yourself a bit of a negative talk, come on out of that space, because that's really not going to help you. That doesn't talk about self-love, and it certainly doesn't help you find where you stand. You're in a space of beating yourself up, okay? But if there is something that isn't serving you, and it does feel like it's a bit of negative karma, do what you can to stand in your own energy, stand in your own right, and speak your truth to come on out of that space, okay? So we're going to have to do some work for ourselves in the month of July, my dear Leo, is what I'm hearing. So what energy do we have at hand here for this Celtic Cross? That was like 3 cards, so I'm not going to take it. In the month of July for my Leo, what energy is at hand here? You have the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is all about making a stand. You are going to fight back against anyone who is coming at you in a wrong way. And you are going to show what you're really all about, where your passion truly lies. So it may be that people are asking too much of you, or taking too much of your time, or making you live in a way that feels less than genuine. And you're really not about it at this time. You're looking to free yourself up and go towards your genuine self, where your heart truly lies. You're going to make that final stand at this time. And this card could actually be taken one of two ways. This individual standing off against the others that are coming against him. Or you could be the individual who is actually, you know, putting your wand in where everyone kind of puts their hand in the circle and then, yeah, comes out at the same time and they're working as a team. So take that card however that applies to you, my dear Leo, and make a stand, whether it's with the assistance of others who your true soul family is, the people who resonate with you, or you can actually make a stand against the people who feel like they're really coming at you and say, no, this isn't working, and really put your foot down, okay? I feel like this is, this could go either way for an individual. You could be the person who's kind of putting your hand in the circle, you know, break, like a team break, a sort of a huddle, which would indicate the need for you to square up with people, say what you're all about, and really gather with friends. So, you know, like social settings and stuff, they may benefit you in the early months of July. Or it may be time for you to stand against those people who are taking from you in a way that is less than genuine and using you for their own cause. Because I saw something to the effect the other day, Leo, that said, if you're not busy building your own dream, you're building someone else's, okay? Something to that effect. So be sure that you're putting in for your own self and your own life as well while you're taking care of others, Leo, because you've got a big heart. But this is your life, this is your story, and you do need to, at the end of the day, lay down and sleep well because you have done things that bring you true joy. But what is crowning you in the month of July, my dear Leo? You have the Page of Wands in reverse. So the Page of Wands goes through and he is a messenger card. He is all about sharing the message, where his heart lies and where his passion is. In reverse, what's crowning you is this is the place where you're in your higher energy, where you're in your vibe. You're addressing these spaces for sure. Where your passion feels like someone's kind of putting a cap on it, trying to kind of stuff the genie back in the bottle. But that's not really where you are. And I feel like if this is something that's hurting a passion project, it may be that you're working on your own side hustle, your own business, and someone's kind of got their fingers in the mix. A creative project such as a song, writing, painting, something of that nature. And you're getting a bit of a critique, or you've got people who are telling you your stuff isn't good enough. I feel like this really is something that's of a creative nature. If it's happening in the workspace where you are day to day, I feel like there might be a project that needs addressed and someone's really telling you that your method isn't the best way to do something, and they're kind of clipping your wings. But you're seeing this when you're in your higher space, and this is where you're realizing, I need to give myself that little bit of push. I need to give that self-love and stand my ground because I really can do better than what they're telling me I can. And I absolutely believe it. And I feel like this is you, Leo. I feel like you're seeing this. And it does kind of hurt you in your heart space from time to time. So you're looking to stand up for yourself and take the courage of the lion and move forward, right? Because my dear Leos, you're passionate, bold sign. And I feel like somebody has kind of put that kitty in the cage. But we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to move forward, and we're going to make July a progressive month. And we're going to go forward, and we're going to make progress. What is the immediate outcome in this spread for my Leos in the month of July? What do you have for Leo? The immediate outcome. The Five of Cups is coming up as your immediate outcome. So the Five of Cups is all about lamenting over what you have lost, a little bit of grief, a little bit of regret. I feel like there is a space of beating yourself up. Something didn't come out the way you wanted it to in the month of June, or maybe in the months building up to June. And now you're kind of feeling it. You know you could have done better. You know if you had more voice, if you had more say, if you had more freedom, you could have done better at something. Or it could be that people were just taking so much from you on the day-to-day that when it came time to put energy into your own endeavors, you found yourself kind of at a loss. You were tired. And I know because I've been there, Leo. Very recently, I took up a second job to where I am here in my shop. And it does take a lot from me. And it does kind of take from my own energy. So I'm having to find sort of a balance. But that's where I am. But you are finding a sort of grief, a sort of regret from the way you've been doing things. But you can't beat yourself up. What has happened has already happened. And now it's time to take those lessons as knowledge and apply them moving forward, because they're life lessons, right? So we're not going to sit in this down in doldrums spot. We're going to move forward in July, okay? And like I said, in the early month of July, this may be where you start. Okay, you may find yourself in kind of a beat up energy, but I want you to move forward from that in July, okay? So where is my Leo going from here? Where are we going as we give to ourselves and we stand our ground and we fight for what we're passionate about, okay? What are you bringing to this reading, my dear Leo? You have this card of the King of Wands. Yeah, you're coming through this with some sorrow, with some apathy. It's like you don't have the energy that you need to do what you need to do in July. And Leo, you absolutely can. I'm telling you here. If you feel the need for rest, and that's why you don't have this passion to create, take it, because that is part of self-love. That is part of standing your own truth. You give and you create and you do so much and you're so inspiring that it is okay to stop and have that downtime when you feel the need, okay? You're not a circus monkey. You're not meant to go out there and perform for audiences, you know, and sometimes they don't even treat those animals that well in circuses. Some do, some don't, but you're not out here to perform for other people. So if you do feel the need, and that's why this lack of passion is here, to withdraw and have you time, and I'm almost seeing the Hermit card, okay? The Hermit withdraws into the cave because they don't have enough light for other people to ruminate on that which they know and learn the lessons so they can come out and bring the knowledge and share the magic with others. If you feel like that is you and you need to withdraw, go ahead and do that at this time, Leo, because July is giving you that space and giving you that permission to enact that self-love and do just that. But let's go forward and see what energy is Spirit bringing to this reading in July. What do you have for my Leos in July? Here you have the Queen of Cups in reverse. The Queen of Cups in reverse can indicate that there is a lack of compassion for you and you're absolutely feeling it. Yeah, I feel like you've been jumping through hoops for a situation or a particular person or group of people, okay? This could like a work organization or something like that. Something's got you all up in your feels, and you may get the indication that there's a sort of gossip going about, people who are not really caring so much for you as they are what you can bring to the table and what you can do for them. So Spirit is saying that if you feel this energy is present, it's not you. Don't beat yourself up like we talked about with this karma in reverse. It's them, okay? And you need to stand in your truth and step yourself away from whatever that energy is or whatever that space is and tell them, no, this isn't going to work. Have that compassion for yourself, because when others see the way you treat yourself, they will follow in kind. And if they don't, treating yourself well means stepping away from them so you don't have to worry about how they're going to react. You have already taken care of the situation, okay? Let's go ahead and see what is in your position of hopes and fears, my dear Leo, in the month of July. Oh, got two flop outs. Well, I'm going to take one flop out, Spirit. Clumsiness, forgive that. I am working on shuffling on camera for you, Leo. I'm doing this for all the signs so you can see I do shuffle as I channel from my guides and whatever input they have to give us. What do we have? In your position of hopes and fears, you have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the energy of dead done over with, as the individual is on the ground with the swords in his back. And this can indicate that there was something that was communicated, something that kind of got you in a space of disbelief, because swords are, again, the way things think, communicate, and intellectual energy. In reverse, this card says that you are hopeful you will be able to get back up again and pull yourself out of this space. And I'm here to tell you that the cards tell you how to do it. Self-love, stand your ground, stand in your own truth, and tell who you really are. Recognize where people are taking too much. Sometimes you need to stop and address a situation in order to move forward with that chariot crossing us, okay? So I feel like you are doing just that. You are going to be able to get back up. You're fearful that while people beat you down, will you have the strength to get back up? And you're hopeful that you're going to be able to get back up and get back on the horse, so to speak. And I feel like you really are, because you have the cards here to tell you how to do it. And you're tired of being in this space. You're tired of beating yourself up. Nobody likes to stay there, right? They say misery loves company, but we're in a space of withdrawal right now. It's all over the cards. This is a flop out. Yeah. See, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is all about leaving behind that which doesn't serve us, that which emotionally is unrewarding, to move onward as this young lady moves along the shore, following her stars and following her destiny. And I'm going to take that pop out, but that was not the next card we were looking for. We were still explaining, so we'll take it as a buffer for that Ten of Swords. You're looking to move away from that negative energy into something that is more soothing for you. And I feel like that is you, okay? We are absolutely going to step out in the month of July and find our new beginning here, Leo. So let's see what we have for the long-term outcome in this reading for my dear Leo in July. We're on the right path and we're making some changes. Where are we headed? Here you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Yep, the Five of Pentacles indicates a feeling of lack. As you look in this card, you have the tree with the Five Pentacles left on what is a dying tree in a winterscape sort of land. The staff in the ground would indicate that whoever lived here, whatever the indigenous people were that thrived on this land, have since moved on because they saw the lack coming in the season and they knew that they were going to be unable to survive on what the land could provide. In reverse, this says that you are absolutely going to be moving on from a situation that you deal with every day. Pentacles energy, our living space, our job, our money situations, how we do our everyday space, right? You are going to be moving on into a space that is more fruitful for you because you realize where the lack has been, what has been holding you back, and you are taking charge in the month of July. So while the cards came about in a way that shows you what hurts, this is to point out the need for you to take care of yourself, Leo. And you're absolutely going to stand up. The line is going to get their footing and go forward. And as you round out toward the end of July, you are going to feel yourself. You're going to feel that energy that you've been putting into yourself. You're going to feel that vibe, and you're going to be able to step into the next month with that power behind you, with that passion and that courage. So I can't wait to see what your August reading is going to look like. Stay tuned when those cards come out. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Echo, and I hope that you have a very blessed July, my dear Leo. I will see you next time. Take care.